The Spiral and the Librarian. Trevion Rivers. They say the universe is a circle, but that's only part of it. In truth, it is a spiral, curving endlessly inward and outward, folding memory into matter, stitching spirit into flesh, and looping moments through time like songs caught in a broken machine. Somewhere, in one life among countless, a man awoke with the sinking sensation that he had lived it all before. He couldn't name it, couldn't explain it, but he felt it, in the routine weight of morning, in the fading echo of his daughter's laughter, in the mirror where his eyes looked too tired for a man his age. He had made these mistakes before. He had loved and lost her before. He had failed before. This time, though, he tried to change. He loved harder. He spoke his truths. He softened where he used to harden. And when death came, it was not with resistance, but with surrender. Not in defeat, but in quiet understanding. That was not the end. Not for a soul like his. When his flesh fell away, his spirit lingered. He became a presence, a shadow in lamplight, a warmth behind the wind. Not a ghost, not a guide, something more ancient. A watcher. His daughter remained in the physical realm, unaware at first. The world she inherited was raw and ruthless, a place where magic hid in alleys and whispers, where spirits moved through phone static and subway tracks. The cities had forgotten the old gods, but the spiral had not forgotten her. As she grew, she began to remember. Not in memories, but in muscle, in instinct. She moved like her father, spoke words she never learned. She found herself drawing spirals in notebooks and humming songs no one had taught her. Her life was not just her own. It was part of a larger pattern, one that spanned generations and realms. Around her gathered others, souls she'd known in other forms, other timelines. Some allies, some rivals, all caught in the spiral. But she broke the cycle. Not through war, not through prophecy, through love. By choosing to live freely, to forgive what she was never meant to carry, she unraveled the knot of repetition. And in doing so, she severed the tie that bound her father's spirit to the world. He drifted upward, or inward, or beyond, and found himself in the library. The Library of Recurrence is not a place. It is a moment stretched across eternity, where time is shelved and categorized like books. Each timeline, each reality, each version of you and me is a volume. Some are fragile and brief. Others loop endlessly, unchanged. Some are so powerful they glow like suns. There, the man became something new, the librarian. He was not alone. There were others like him, watchers turned keepers, spirits grown heavy with experience. They tended to the records of all lives, deciding which timelines were worth preserving, which were to be gently forgotten. They read stories not just with eyes, but with soul, feeling every heartbreak, every triumph, every silent moment that shaped entire generations. And then he found her story, his daughter's, out of sequence, glitching, impossible, a miracle. He read her life with reverence, the choices she made, the freedom she carved into stone. And as he read, he remembered not just who he had been, but why. Not to break the cycle, but to give birth to someone strong enough to end it. The librarian closed the book. A raven stirred on his shoulder. The watch on his wrist, long since broken, ticked once more. He turned, placed the final volume on the shelf, and smiled. Not because the story was over, but because, finally, it didn't have to repeat.